When people are not treating you right or kind, they know that. So what's expected is for you to come back at them. And then what that does is allow them to get defensive and just go, and it just creates this cycle, this toxic cycle.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
when people are treating you unkind and you say, hey, can I get you a coffee? Hey, I'd like to buy you lunch. Hey, that that shifts it. That's where that love comes in, and that's where it shifts the whole narrative, because it's like, oh my God.
Mhm.
Because it allows them to look at their self. You don't have to say anything.
What if the best chapter of your life hasn't even begun yet? What lies within you is the power to live brighter, bolder, and truer than ever before. So welcome to Vivatude, where caregiving, connections, and career come into balance, and where your vitality, vision, and voice shines through. Because the revolution isn't out there, it's already within you. Welcome to Vivatude.
Welcome back to our next segment of Frequency of Love with Diane Woodford. In this part of our conversation, we turn into deeper insights, the stories that were turning points that made love not just an idea for you, Diane, but a way of life. So, what was that moment or season that made the frequency of love more than an idea for you?
So many seasons, so many moments, I tell you. But for the purpose of the show, we're going to just jump into that moment when my husband was in the hospital. Now, just a little backstory on me. I was a critical care nurse and clinical professor. And so I'm very familiar with hospitals and, all of that. It was during the time of COVID. And what happened was the treatment that I was receiving was very foreign to me and actually really alarming, because it was contradictive of what you would expect in a hospital. It was like, hey, what happened to integrity? What happened to compassion? What happened? And I understand that, just the whole thing with the pandemic and all, how it just really had an effect on people. So I, in support of my husband, just really felt so much emotional bullying, so much projected fear, so much anger, so much pain. And it was just coming from every direction. So as I'm at the bedside trying to be there for my husband, I'm getting all of these emotions and feelings. And we were one love ambassadors going in. So it's just like your frequency that you carry, your message that you carry in life will be tested. And let me tell you, it was so tested, Anu. And it was very, very challenging, because there were times where I wanted to scream, but
Hmm.
instead I would buy a nurse lunch. There were people who were just horrible to me, and I just really wanted to give them a good shaking or something, because it was just like, hey, come back, be nice. But instead, I bought them a coffee.
Hmm.
There were things that I was doing, operating in the frequency of love, that was beyond me.
Hmm.
And once I got to that level, that's when I knew that the frequency of love was real. Because what happened is, as I kept going through, love began to deliver to me love back, in the form of medical professionals, in the form of hospital CEOs, in the form of just different nurses and things that began to come and love on me. My love pot was almost empty, honestly, because it was just steady pouring at a constant frequency. And I was just really feeling drained. And when you're carrying that frequency of love and you're feeling drained, it's easy to see that rabbit hole and find yourself kind of starting to slip. But when you really hold true to love, before you can even slip and go down that hole, love is going to come and grab you and bring you back up and fill you back up and just replenish you. And that's what
Mm.
happened with me. Yes.
And Charles is healthy and recovered. That is also, isn't it? That's
Yes.
so wonderful.
Yes. Yes, he literally left out known as the miracle man from that hospital experience. Looking back on that, I truly believe in my heart and in my soul that as One Love ambassadors, we were used to go into that place that was so low on love and to be the love in action. Because when people are not treating you right or kind, they know that. So what's expected is for you to come back at them. And then what that does is allow them to get defensive and just go, and it just creates this cycle, this toxic cycle.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
when people are treating you unkind and you say, hey, can I get you a coffee? Hey, I'd like to buy you lunch. Hey, that that shifts it. That's where that love comes in, and that's where it shifts the whole narrative, because it's like, oh my God.
Mhm.
Because it allows them to look at their self. You don't have to say anything.
There are two things you said that people, when they are not being kind, they know it. And then the second thing is love in action. And I'm wondering if the aftercare, your book you recently published, they came as a result of that. What I
Yes.
mean, I'm just curious. What made you write aftercare?
Anu, thank you for that question. And I'm going to say it like this, not to sound like a cliche at all, but when I was going through what I was going through, I sure could have used a book like Aftercare. I wish that I had that book. So I wrote Aftercare as my love offering to hand back, hand forward, and hand all around me to people that are experiencing trauma, to people that are experiencing pain, to people that are just in a battle where hope and resilience is just needed, and it's just constant and constant, not only for caregivers but for healthcare workers, for nurses, for people to see that yes, the storm can be really, really rough, really rough. And there will be times where you feel like, is it ever going to end? And aftercare is my living testimony and message that yes, not
Mm.
only will the storm end, but you will thrive again. You'll be able to, there will be peace. Peace is attainable. Peace is there. And most importantly, you are not alone. You are not alone in your storm.
Wow, wow, wow. So beautifully said. And this might resonate with you, our listeners who are struggling and juggling with so many things. So don't go away. We'll be right back with the next segment of Vivatude, where we are talking about frequency of love with Diane Woodford.
And thanks for listening to Vivatude. 4 hosts, 1 each week. We help you revivitude your next chapter because purpose, passion, and prosperity isn't out there. They're already within you. Brighter, bolder, truer. Vivatude.